Welcome back everyone to the Fork Spear, where today we are going to be starting on our time machine. I have dug out a 3 deep channel of water right here, which is going to form the starting area for the time machine. And we are going to start by placing our corners in here. The corners for the time machine are all going to be made out of polished andesite, and it'll be moving as such: 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore 4 in each direction like that. And I'm going to make these 3 high. Let's see if we come all the way up to the top here. Actually, this one is not intended. Actually, I take that back. It is intended. So therefore, we'll have this 3 by 3 there. And now here then, since we're dealing with a corner, we will have this come up like that. Oops. And this will go 1 in each direction around that. No, not this one right here. There you go. And that, oops. And this, then 1 more here, and that will form our corner for each of the, and that we will be repeating this on each of the 4 corners around there when we get around to them. Between these 2 corners, we will have 1 layer of polished andesite. There you go. And then we'll have a floor. Now the floor is not going to be andesite. Instead, the floor will be made from stone brick. And we'll put this all the way around here, and that will be both for here and for what's in between. Good. Now, this is going to be common all the way across for the 4 corners and for the floor and for the bottoms of those. The walls, though, for each of the 4 sections will be different. For each of these 4 sections, they're going to be each representing one of the 4 realms. And therefore, what's going to be visible is going to be based something appropriate for that realm. Here, we are talking about the realm of water, which is why we went through all the trouble of coming down into water level. So therefore, what you're going to be seeing down here is water. Though, of course, since water doesn't work too well with tracks and all, we will have glass there so you go through the water. I suppose you could say that there's also another association where glass is made from sand and the sand is found on beaches, which is watery, though you could make an argument the sand's also associated with deserts, which aren't exactly watery, but that's just adding a little bit of a stretch there in any case. So therefore, you'll be coming through here and you'll be seeing water on either side. Now, we do have to deal with the water that is actually inside here, and fortunately there's an easy way to deal with that, and that's because the fiasco in the monument did leave me at least with sponges. Let's see if I could use these. Okay, Well, that was more effective than I thought it would be. And 3 sponges clears out the entire thing. Okay. Nice. For the roof, we are going to be using some stairs. Now this section we'll be using stone brick stairs. But that won't be the case later on. We'll place some stone bricks here and stone brick right over there. So now that's all covered up. Now we won't cover up that side immediately since we are going to be needing some access here for a while. There you go. So this will be the top. Now for this section right here though, instead of stone brick, we will be using prismarine brick. So there'll be 8 of these, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and of course stairs to match. After all the trouble I went to get the prismarine, I had to go and use this somewhere, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the same thing on this side. There we go. This section represented the realm of water. So the next section is going to represent the realm of the overworld, the land area, and we needed something to represent that. Now I figured that the best thing to use here would be iron. That's something that I associate with that we mine from the overworld. So therefore, I'm going to use iron for this. For that part of it, for the walls. For the ceiling, though, you'll need something a little bit different. And I'm not going to use smooth for stone brick there because we've already have that for our corner. So I need something contrasting with it. So I'm going to settle for cobble. See how that works. So if I could come up with a better item to use, something has to be something that's craftable into stairs, which is why I'm wondering about exactly what. Why not wood? Because that's definitely something I associate. I want the walls to be something nice and sturdy, but of course we also associate the ground, the land world, with trees, and that means wood would be perfect. Therefore, let's try this with the stairs, and instead, now we do have this to worry about. Well, getting this section here shouldn't be too much trouble. That's the easy bit. It's the sides where I'm worried about. Maybe I could at least get some of this. I suppose that if you have the rest of it, you're not going to worry too much about putting up a roof on a spot that already has its own natural roof on top of it. To represent the nether, we'll of course have nether brick. What else? What better says nether than nether brick? Yeah, I guess netherrack wood, but I want something reasonably sturdy there. Yes, I know on the other side we had the water one, which uses glass, which isn't exactly the sturdiest material, but it's useful for other things. Now, on top of this, though, we will be using quartz, because I want something, of course, contrasting. And a good contrast with nether brick, I think, should be quartz. But I'll need a little bit extra headroom if I'm going to do that. We, of course, will start out with the stairs on the side. Then we can get to our... That's iron. Block of quartz. Yeah, we don't want iron there, we want quartz there. Just so, and then finally finish it out on the side. Alright, good, and of course that will have these stone bricks there. And that just leaves end, which is the final of the realms, and apparently there's a lot of sand in the area. But for end, we've got a little bit trickier here, because what says end to me is end stone, and I don't have enough of it. I am able to spare 16 end stone. That won't be needed for the time capsule. So I will put this here. The rest is inside the time capsule, which is going to do that. Now, it would be nice to have some purpur, but unfortunately, purpur is not going to happen. So therefore, I am going to have to use andesite over this. I think when I am in the rails, this is what I'm going to be seeing. I may just flip these over once I get the tracks down. In fact, maybe I should put some mining tracks down to see how that works, so I can see which one. Because it's the one that you see, I think that would be more important. So I'll put it either on the top or the bottom, depending on the order there, which means I should get a minecart and some track. Let's get some rail here and a minecart. And see how it looks. Alright, I'll have to flip them. Unfortunately, I don't have any endstone to put on the ceiling, and I don't have any purpur, so therefore the only choice I have is to resort to sandstone for the top here and pretend it was endstone, even though it isn't really the case. Then on top, I'll just put on some sandstone stairs, and we will have the outer area, the outer ring, all complete, which is where the rails are going to go. But that's not it for the time machine, because of course we need the rail system, and I'm going to be needing the activator, which is right there, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. I am going to have rails going all the way through here. So what I'm going to do is replace some of these stone bricks with redstone blocks. And naturally, I'm going to be placing some powered rails, some power rails over them. And with power rails and the redstone, that means we'll just be able to zip along here. And the idea is that we're going to move around and around and around, and that's going to create the vortex for the time machine in order to keep it active. So I'm going to get the rails onto here. And I'm also going to give a little test out to make sure that this works right. The idea there is I want, yeah, that's going to stay there temporarily until I get the rest in there. Now let's see how this works. And whee! Well, certainly not a yeah, I think it's going just the right speed that I need here. Good. So with that done, we can get around to the hello. Well, I'm going to have to stop this thing. Oh. Thank you. Now, let us now worry about this. Now, you need something, of course, to power the time machine, and that's what this is all about. And for that, I'm going to use a conduit. And for a conduit, I am going to be needing some prismarine at the right location. And the prismarine is going to be right here at this level. It'll be a ring around here like this. So this is going to be the prismarine ring. And I'm going to fill all this area with water. I think I put a couple of pails in here. Good. So just get some water here. Just drop some here and some here. I'll have to. Good. I think we're getting this. Oh, alright, that level's all filled up, so I'm going to have to fill up each of these other levels. And actually, let me get the conduit itself. Now, the conduit can't do anything until it is surrounded by water and it has the prismarine there. Okay, that's not going to work until I have water here, of course. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Boom. 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 And I think one more. Okay, now that's here. Now do one more level up and we shall be ready. Oh yeah, but when it goes down you've got silly things like that happening. So I still have a couple of things about the new water mechanics I need to figure out. Fortunately, I'm nice and close to a big water source right there. Good and good. At least it's not leaving gaps in the ocean like it used to, because that was a real pain when it was doing that. Oh, no, not there. Right there. Good. And this can go right there. Oh. Yeah, there's that place too. Now that this is filled, I could place the conduit into here. Good. Now it's not activated yet. To activate it, I need to first I'll get rid of that so that there is water below it. But of course I also need water above it. So that means one more layer of water I'm going to be needing for this mess. And that's going to be starting here. And yeah, it just goes downward towards there. So it doesn't quite able to go in the direction I want it there. But I'll just put that there and around and so on. It looks like I finally have it all covered up with water, and the conduit is now operating. So if I go to the water, I should be able to, yep, I now have the buff from the conduit, which means it's all now operation, so it is powered. So we need that for the time travel component of it. You need some unusual power source in addition to the rails moving you around. So I think that is it, isn't it? The conduit is operational. The rails are ready. Minecart in hand. So now it's time to start the time machine. That switch there will activate the machine and send us back home. As soon as I hit it, let us get a good, nice run and get ready to hit it on time. There we go. And I don't think it worked. The lesson in this is that you should never jury rig a time machine because it's more likely to blow up in your face than to get you back home. And if I had left well enough alone, I could have lived comfortably here, right? Unfortunately, not only did I manage to blow myself up, but my time capsule happened to be right next to the time machine. I hope it somehow survived all that and could get to the future intact, but I don't have many hopes on that. And alas, even though one of my primary goals was to play around with the trident, I never really got to play with one. I just had a little bit of time with one, but not enough really to have good satisfaction. Fortunately, I did have the base race this month where I did get to play with the trident, but that was not in this series. But that is it for this particular series and this particular world, which has a few corruptions based on playing it in the snapshots and the like, but it was a practice world just to have a little fun with it before 1.13 comes out. But 1.13 will be getting at release pretty soon, I feel, where I'm hoping to create a more permanent world where I could have some long-lasting builds. But until then, this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to build responsibly.